Okay, I feel like we can't have started the episode yet because this has been dog shit so far.
Yeah, it has been. But the rest of my computer parts cost. Hi, I'm Tanner. This is Brotherly Ramble. That is Daniel. the rest of my computer parts
The
cost.
intro was good. Keep the intro.
The rest of my computer parts cost around like $1,600 because I'm getting two monitors instead of one. So that way,
Dude,
when we're doing podcasts and stuff, I can keep like the OBS up on one screen, and
I was
also if I
like,
stream, I can keep it up on one screen without having to
um,
worry about it.
you're, uh, oh, you're,
Mom and dad are back, right?
are they?
Yeah, I just went over there today and saw them.
How was it? Did they
Dude,
have fun?
they said it was good besides yesterday because the shit people tell them not to like book a flight before noon, and so they booked their flight for 2:30, and they got off the flight by 8:30 or off the boat by 8:30, and they were at the airport by 8:39, so they waited for 6 hours at the airport,
No.
and then they after the first flight they had a layaway at North Carolina, and so they waited there for another hour or two, and then flew back home and then get like back like to Chicago or Madison to like 11 or 12 o'clock, so they didn't get home till like 1:30 basically.
Dude, that's rough.
Yeah, and so I bet you guys were like, dude, you know, I could stay for 24 hours when I was a kid, but like now as a grown ass adult, dude, doing like a 24 hour is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Even as a 23-year-old, when I try to stay up late, dude, I'm like, fuck. I like the
Dude,
fucking.
I miss staying up late.
Yeah, it wasn't that the best though, dude. Like that's the
Dude,
fucking
do
best.
you remember when we used to, when we lived in fucking Verona or whatever, we used to go down to that gas station like right down the
Yeah,
street? That was
yeah.
the best, dude. I missed it.
You'd get me black and milds or blunts, and we'd fucking sit there and just game and hang out till like fucking 2, 3 in the morning, and then fucking
Yeah, I missed that shit, dude.
yeah,
Like the world just feels different at that time.
yeah. And then we'd
I'm
sleep
so
on a mattress that was right next to each other, like grown men do.
like a giant bed. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
two queen size mattresses just pushed up against each other in one room.
I missed the like the world feels different at that time and I like it better. But like like this day and age, like America does not fuck with you basically have to be awake during the day. Like I feel like
Yeah,
it's like taboo almost to work second shift, which is and like third shift, which is crazy.
I feel like the Gary V's and everything have overhyped the like you need to be awake as long as you can, like get fucking 5, 6 hours of sleep, and then like
Oh
every
yeah.
second of your day you need to be fucking awake and doing something, whether it's working or
Some
fucking working
people
on
can
your
do
own
that.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some people can get away fine with like 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep, but I need like at least 8.
but I feel like all the people that do that like aren't
You said
genuinely like
you
happy. I feel like all the people that do that aren't happy. It's stuck in my head now. I feel like all the people that do that aren't genuinely like happy with their life. You know what I mean? Like the people that like
do. Yeah.
focus on trying to make like all the money that they can within the amount of hours that they have because they saw something on TikTok that was like, you only need 6 hours of sleep, dude. You should be waking up at 5 o'clock and fucking
That there's these poor motherfuckers out there taking cold showers.
dude. Not only that, just poor motherfuckers out there that are like in Africa, like digging up coal for the rest of us, making like $3 a day, dude. And it's like, I get paid $20 an hour just to deliver mail. You get paid $20 an hour, whatever the fuck it is, just to fucking sit at
Dude, I
home on
don't.
your computer.
Oh, I was talking about the people like the fucking slaves and shit that have to mine. But that's the difference between like what's well, what was that first thing you said? What started this? You said um I don't remember what you said, but I had something to say about it.
About what, the Gary V part or the part before that?
Oh yeah, the people getting up early and shit. Like that's the difference between like you can do that. It's the I feel like that's the difference between people who do that care more about giving off the impression that they're like happy and awake and like
Yeah,
killing it and
yeah.
actually feeling good.
It's those same people that do um, you know Mark Wahlberg? Like Mark Wahlberg, like he made a video. Like a lot of people have done it. I mean, a lot of like not just Mark Wahlberg, but Mark Wahlberg is I know that one that has done it. They're like, this is my daily routine. I wake up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. and I go to the gym for 2 hours, and then I go do this for fucking 6 hours, and then I go do this and do that and whatever. And it's like, yeah, I would love to do all that shit too if I was a fucking millionaire, dude. If I make $20 an hour, I don't like getting up and going to work. I don't think anybody really that isn't a fucking already a millionaire that has a gym at their house and a fucking full size basketball court and whatever fucking else, 14 fucking bedrooms and 13 bathrooms, isn't like, yeah, dude, I get up and go do this at work. It's like, yeah, fuck you, dude. You have $1 million fucking one bedroom, dude. You have like,
I don't think the $1 million like I don't think it. I really don't think it matters that much. Like I feel like
I think
there.
it does.
Really, I can almost guarantee you, not even almost. I guarantee you there are millionaire. I guarantee you that I'm happier than like 90% of the millionaires out there.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely, because all the millionaires are always thinking. They're always thinking about like their next like move, their next this and that. But I'm saying like it's always those millionaires who put this life on people that are like
Oh,
middle
definitely.
class. That's what I'm saying. Like the people that are middle class people like us that are like, we wake up, we do a 9 to 5, whatever. You know what I mean, and make this money. The people look at the millionaires though, and they're like, oh, Mark Wahlberg gets up at fucking 4 a.m. and goes and works out for 2 hours, and then goes and does work for fucking 6 hours or whatever, and then does this for the rest of his day, and then is in bed by midnight, and then goes to sleep for fucking 5 more hours and does it all again. It's like,
Well, he didn't. He wasn't waking up that early to work out before he was like rich and shit. Like the
that's what
reason
I'm
he can do
saying.
that is because he has the money.
That's what I'm saying. When you have the money, I was like, I think everybody would be doing the same if I had a $15 million home and had a gym in my house, and had all this shit in my house that had the accessibility to do that.
Well, it's
Like,
not even like, yeah, having a gym in your house. Plus, it's the like when you work out, you have to eat more. Not
yeah.
everybody can afford more food. You
Well,
have
not
to
only
pay.
that, but you have the private chef and everything too. Like, I
Exactly.
guarantee, yeah.
Like, yeah, that's the thing is they. I feel like people try to make it look like if you do these things, you'll get to where I am. But it's more of like I'm where I'm at, so I can do these
That's
things.
what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, dude, it's like everybody like Gary Vee, all these people. Gary Vee, like I like Gary Vee. I watch some of his videos and stuff, but like,
Who the fuck is Gary Vee?
you know who Gary Vee is? Like he's one of these people. For the longest, I used to follow him. He's like, you need to be going to garage sales. You need to be doing this and that, lowballing people for these prices so you can sell it for higher on eBay and everything, and whatnot. And it's like, Gary Vee. He always talks about like he came up from this and that's like, I used to work at he said like he used to say like I used to work at like a tobacco or liquor store or something like that is what he used to say, but it's like you didn't work there, like you owned it. His family owned the liquor store or tobacco store. It's like you
Oh yeah,
guys owned it. You know what I mean? So he's like, I used to work here. It's like, motherfucker, you worked there because your family owned it. If I could
yeah,
have worked at a family owned business too and make money, trust me, I fucking would, brother.
yeah.
Like
Dude, we
that's
get because that's what any we have to. Let's save up some money and and I genuinely mean this. Let's save up some money and invest in some property in Galena.
dude. I'm down. I was thinking about that before, like into a like a duplex or like an apartment building or something just like that. Cause
Like we will. If I asked her right now, she would agree with me. We would totally go in on it with you. We just because we've talked about it before, like without just doing it with us, but we
yeah,
would want to have somebody there to like keep an eye on things.
yeah. I want to do that around Galena. Another thing I've always wanted to do around Galena, that too, is like the first thing I want to do around Galena before I did that, just with me and Isabel, is like I always wanted to buy a building downtown, like on the strip,
That's what I was thinking.
and invest into a like a salon, because like that's what Isabel does, because she knows like everything about that, and she
It's
has
a
a
lot
lot.
for you. Is he?
Isabel, yeah, because she's a cosmetologist. She has her
Do
license
you
and
want
all that
her?
stuff.
You want to purchase property for her to start something?
Well, not only for her to start something, but she has a lot of friends that have licenses and specific stuff like doing nails and doing this and that. And so I was like, we could invest into a property for you to do something, and then have all your friends work for you and shit, and you'd have like a full running business or whatever. That's what I always thought. And then I was like, and then after that, invest into more property around Galena. That's what I always thought, because that's
Yeah,
what I
we
always
want.
want to do.
I started well, Catherine's been doing like tutoring, and I made her a website and stuff, and she wants to have like a brick and mortar like tutoring place, but
Yeah,
I don't think Alina has like a market for that.
I think Galena has a market for it only because a sub market for it. Nothing like crazy compared to like where you're on like you guys are at, but it's only because Galena's like in the middle of a lot of small country towns compared to everywhere else. So like not only do you have Galena, but you have Hanover, you have Dubuque, you have all these places like Cuba City and
Oh,
Hazel
that's it.
Green, and you have all these places that are around it that are small towns that don't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason I think Galena has that like market for it is because there's a lot of places around it that don't have that market essentially.
So Galena has a market for it because other places don't have a market for it.
Yeah, other places around it because
I know
Galena's
this has to do,
because
but yeah, it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, because Galena is such a Galena essentially like the way I think of it, Galena is such a big small town. Like it's a small town, but it's such a big town because you even got those people that come from Chicago. So you're talking about like during the summertime when school's not going on and people are from Chicago there like all summer. People from Chicago would send their kids there to do tutoring. People from Hanover would send their kids to do tutoring. People from Savannah, people from Hazel Green, people from Cuba City, people
Yeah,
from
send their kids all the way there just for tutoring.
for like Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying people in Chicago like the
Or I
um,
guess if they were there for the summer, they
that's
at
what I'm
least.
saying. Yeah,
Okay.
like the Galena territories. A lot of people like own houses in the Galena territory, and it's not just for like the like they go and sit. It's like their summer home. Like that's where they go during the summer. They stay there all year round, like all summer round, basically. Like for the whole summer, they'll be there essentially.
That makes sense.
You know, and that's a lot of people from all over the place, like Freeport, Rockford, all these people that are like have money. They go up there during the winter for the skiing season and shit. They go up there like that's why I'm like, it has the market, but it's not like as big as a market as like a big city, you know.
Yeah.
But it might be as big as a market. I don't know personally because I'm not in the tutoring business, so I wouldn't know because I haven't looked up on any of that. But like, I feel like if you did the research and looked up around Galena like tutoring businesses, I feel like you'd be able to know whether or not there's a big enough market or
Yeah.
not.
Just gotta do some research.
Yeah, that star in your fucking lower lip is captivating me. I've been able to do nothing but stare at that. Can I tell you about what
Anyway,
happened to me yesterday?
yeah, please.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, so I gotta enact it for you first of all. For whoever's like just doing like the listening part of it and not the YouTube part of it, go to YouTube so you can watch this. So
Audio, video.
yeah, the audio and video, whatever the fuck, dude. So I had my first dog encounter yesterday.
Oh, really? That's like a
Yeah,
mailman?
yeah. And
Oh, sorry.
so
What's the PC term for what I should call you?
a mailman. That's
Mail
fine.
carrier?
No, just mailman.
But mailman is not gender neutral.
Yeah, but I'm a man and I deliver mail.
Okay.
Mailman, mailwoman, mail carrier, whatever you want to call me. Mailman is what I go by. So that way you don't get offended, or I don't get offended. Mailman, I prefer in my nice highlighter yellow shirt. But yesterday I was delivering. It's like a mounted part of there, or dismount is what they call it. So it's like where you pull up to like a curb and you get out and deliver it to a mailbox. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's two houses that have a mailbox, maybe within like 10, 20 feet of each other. So I pulled to the second one, and I walked back to the other one, and then walked to the other one, usually. And so I parked to the second one, walked back to the other one, and I saw a three-legged dog outside, and it was barking and stuff at me. But it was a three-legged dog that was really big, like actually like fat and stuff like that. So I was like, it's not doing anything. Put the mail in the mailbox, and I turned around and started walking to the second one, and I heard like leaves and grass rustling behind me, and I turned around, and sure enough, that three-legged dog had a four-legged friend, brother. You know what I mean? I was like, oh fuck. And so I turned around. I pulled my satchel in front of me because it was like showing its teeth and went to jump and bite at me. And I put my satchel in front of me, so it bit at my satchel. But
Huh,
but most people have like a
dude,
most people have a fight or flight instinct, and I went to like bitch mode, dude. I went straight pussy mode, dude. And I put my satchel in front of me, and all I did was go, no, 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 no. Dude, I swear, I swear to God, I went straight
Dude,
fucking, I went
here's the
straight
thing.
fucking bitch
I
mode.
believe you. Like, I feel like, because I think about that shit a lot when I'm like, what if something were to happen right now? And like, I try to think about it really realistically.
Yeah,
And like, 'cause, you never, I'd much rather be a bitch than like try to act like I'm
yeah,
macho and then
yeah,
humbled.
yeah.
And so, like, I try to think about it objectively. I feel like I would do the same shit realistically.
Bro,
Unless it's like depending on the size, because just only because I'm like pretty tall and I have long arms, depending on the size of the dog, I might not be scared. But if it's like a thick one, like Bella or something,
yeah. No,
dude,
dude, this dog was
I'm,
big. This dog was bigger than Bella, and then fluff. It had a lot of hair. We used to have a dog named Grizzly, and that's the only way I could explain it to my dad. I don't know exactly what kind of dog it was. And the way my dad explained it to your mom was by like naming another dog that they know somebody has. He's like, yeah, it's like the exact kind of dog it was. It's like almost like a bigger border collie. So
so
it's
what
like
happened?
so it bit at my satchel, and then when it bit my satchel, it turned and like sprinted into the backyard, and then the owner came out. But dude, I was in the middle of the street, like I wasn't in their yard, like I was in the middle of the street, bro. And this dog like ran out after me. I heard the leaves and grass whistling, and I turned around and just went, no, 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 no,
Wait, were you thinking? How much were you thinking about Eli?
dude. Here's the thing, I wasn't thinking anything about Eli. It's like I told like
Like, what was
Isabel.
going through your head?
What was going through my head was those no's weren't telling the dog no necessarily. Those dog,
Like, oh, like, I don't want this to happen.
yeah, those no, not that. Those no's were those no's were at the dog, but not like a no 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 like get away from me, but no 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 like please don't do this to me. That's,
Like, you were
that's what the no's
like,
were for. The no's were more like a please don't do this to me. like Bro, I got in my truck after that and went to the next route. I didn't even finish delivering mail for the rest of the street, dude. I just went to the next loop, and
wait. So what happens with the mail then?
I deliver it the next time I have to deliver mail, dude.
Okay.
That's it. That's it essentially. And I,
But if you just like to put this in a better perspective for me,
yeah,
if you were walking down the street and you saw this dog,
yeah.
is it a dog? Like, if it wasn't like a split second thing, would you look at this dog and be like, I could fucking take that dog?
No, if I saw the dog outside, I would call the office and tell them that I'm not delivering mail for the street
Forget
because
about working. Forget if you're working. Like, if you're just, because sometimes, you just walk down the street and you're like, I could beat that person in a fight. I could beat that person in a fight.
oh, if I was just like walking down the street, dude.
Yeah. If you looked at this dog, do you think you would be like, I could
No,
take this dog?
no. I think
Okay. That makes
I,
it even scarier then.
Yeah, I think with my dad being a mailman for a long time and everything, I've always had it trained into my head since, I was 11 or 12 years old. The fact that, like, you just always keep an eye out for dogs because that's what I've always known from him, is just like being a mailman is like, dude, any dog can, like, a lot of people will tell you, like, oh, my dog doesn't bite. And it's like, yeah, you motherfucker, your dog doesn't bite. You motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't mean it won't bite me. And that's the worst part is, like, a lot of the time, like, little dogs are a lot worse than like big dogs. They got that Napoleon syndrome in them,
And
and
you can't,
so
yeah, you can't kick them or anything because they're not
no,
yours.
you can kick them if they come at you. Dude, you can kick them. You can defend yourself.
So, damn, I don't know. Because I feel like there's not that many dogs I've seen where I'm like, that dog would kill me. So the fact that it was a dog where it wasn't one where you were like, I could take this dog is like terrifying.
Yeah, but it's not like I couldn't take this dog. Like I could probably most dogs I could probably take. I feel like, but in
I
my
feel like life or death. I guess when you're working, it's different than life or death.
not even like when I'm working, but just I've had it instilled into my head from my dad that like any dog can do anything. If it gets a good grip on you, depending where it's at, it can get you. You know what I mean? Like it's like a bullet shot. It's like a bullet wound. Like if a dog bit me in the bottom of my leg, like right my Achilles, and ruptured my Achilles, dude, I'm fucked. Like I'm not walking anywhere. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm just. That's why it's like I've always had it instilled in my brain. Like I'm no better than
Here's
even the
the thing, if you
smallest
put your
dogs,
arm up and it like gets you in the right spot, I feel like it could, like if it gets the right tendon or nerve or something, you lose your arm.
dude.
Or like, yeah.
Dude, there's a guy. I'm not gonna name his name, but he's a really nice guy. But my dad was telling me this story not too long ago, right before I started working there. Literally, like 3 weeks before I started working there was a guy who went to deliver mail into a mailbox, and as he was delivering it into a mailbox, he saw a dog. It was like a Rottweiler, but they had a screen door with like one of those like uh, handles that like goes down, and the
Yeah.
Rottweiler like jumped on the door and pushed the door like handle down, and as he was putting his hand into the mailbox to deliver the mail, the Rottweiler grabbed onto like jumped up and grabbed onto his fucking arm, and he said he was picking the Rottweiler off the ground by his arm, like it was dangling off the ground, but the Rottweiler was clinched onto his arm, because like Rottweilers, pit bulls, like a lot of dogs have like the jaw strength. Like a lot of people don't think like
Yeah, dude.
the pit bull has a jaw strength of damn near like a fucking crocodile or alligator. Like it can
Yeah,
fucking
it's
lock onto your
crazy.
fucking arm. So he's picking this fucking dog up off the ground, and while it was dangling off his arm, he was fucking kicking the fucking dog, dude, trying to fucking get it off him. He was shaking his arm, kicking his dog, and it wouldn't fucking get off of him, dude. No matter what he fucking
It's
did.
like a reflex for them. There's like like a certain way to get them to let go, but it's like their reflex not to, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. I always thought in my head, like if that happened to me, like I've always kept in my head. It hasn't happened to me until yesterday when the dog almost bit me. Where like I went into bitch mode, I didn't think about anything. But like after that, I was like, dude, the dogs like, because it never happened to me, so I didn't think about it. But it's like, are they like sharks, dude? Do like you like puncture that? Like do you push their nose? Do you fucking
No,
like
it's
push
something
their?
in their jaw. It's something like
Yeah,
I'll look it up and shoot it at you, but it's something like that. You should probably know that.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, is it their eyes? Is it their nose? Is it their like the bottom of their neck fat, or is it like the top of their neck fat? Like a mother would grab them. You know what I mean? Like do you grab them by like, the
Yeah,
top of their neck
I don't
fat
know.
and make them
Not
fucking?
that. I think that's cats because that like shuts cats down. But I'm pretty sure it's like
But
something.
it shuts dogs down too, because that's what dogs' mothers do too, is grab them by their fucking neck fat when they carry them around.
Great. Yeah, I
So
don't
it's
know.
like, dude, that's all I could think about when the dog was attacking me was fucking, no, 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 no. That's all I could think about, dude. It was just my body shut down. Like, please don't do this. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I could think about, brother. It was just,
I
fuck.
feel that. I feel that.
That's all I could think about, dude. It was bad. Hold on, before we continue, I gotta take a piss.
All right,
All right,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go too.
do it. What's up, everybody? It's Tanner. I'm gonna do a shout out to Full Spectrum Body Works, my siblings' full body massage, tissue massage. If you're in the Milwaukee, Madison area, go look up Full Spectrum Body Works and message them. Tell them Tanner sent you and get a full body massage. All right.
What do you? What is it? Oh, never mind. You
It's
tell them
it's
what.
it's my sibling Shiloh has her own a deep tissue massage business. It's like a full body massage, but they do deep deep tissue massage. and and I asked them if I could shout them out on our episode, so I'm shouting them out on our episode
Oh yeah.
because yeah. Also next weekend, I believe Michael Yoakum is coming on. If he isn't, I have a couple more guests in mind that are gonna come on. But if he doesn't, yeah, but I believe he is. I don't know. I'm pretty hammered. Wags is in the background. Wags scratched Eli yesterday,
Like,
2 days
oh,
ago.
did he?
Yeah, well, honestly, at the same time, I had to break it down for Isabel in a way that she'd understand. Was Wags was sprinting past Eli, and Eli grabbed, like, as she was sprinting past, like, Eli just had fucking ninja reflexes and
Yeah.
grabbed her, like, fucking
Look
hair.
at that.
Yeah, and so she, like, freaked out and kind of, like, whacked at him, and it's literally the babyest scratch ever. And Isabel freaked out, And I was like, dude, honestly, like, would you like if you were sprinting past me and I like grabbed your ponytail or something? And was just like, eh? Like, would you be like, oh
It's like
fuck,
it's not like intentional.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and so she was like, yeah, I guess so. And I was like, yeah, like, I could understand the same thing Wags is because you're like in a look at your ass peeking around the fucking.
It's about the intent behind it. Wait, let me shut this because they're watching a show. It's about the intent behind it, like if someone kills someone because and their intent is because it's super fun and it feels good, that's one thing. But if someone kills someone because they have to, or like if someone kills a dog because they think it's fun and feels good, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
If someone kills a dog because it fucking attacks them while they're delivering mail, that's different. Same with Wags, Wags is just like, oh, it was an act, like, they just
yeah.
react.
Wags is just in a full sprint running away from either another cat or dog or something. And Eli just happened to fucking grab her by her hair, dude, and she was like, oh, back to him. You know what I mean?
Let me get your thoughts on this, right?
Let me get your fucking words on this.
I'm going to ask you a hypothetical.
Hypothetically, what?
I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question.
Hypothetically, what?
Okay. If you're, let's say you, Tanner, or no, let me think of the best way to phrase this.
Nope, me,
If,
Tanner. Go ahead.
no, it wouldn't make sense if it was you. Let's say it's
Wait,
your dad.
Wags is pulling herself up on a chair right now. She's gonna
We're
pull.
going to here in a second.
What? She's gonna pull. Nope, she's climbing back down. I don't know what the fuck just happened, dude.
Um, let's say we're going to use Todd as an example.
Okay.
If Todd is like a serial killer and he loves killing people
Yeah.
and like he's been doing it forever and he goes out of his way to not get caught and all that shit.
Yeah.
Um, he like hits his head or something and like loses his memory
Yeah.
and like he remembers how to walk and talk and all like the basics, but he like doesn't know, he's like a new person.
Yeah.
Is he still like a bad guy?
No, it's Todd.
Forget Todd though. Like if it's because it's
But
not Todd anymore.
use Todd as an example. I hope
But
everybody didn't
now it's a new
realize me trying
person.
to reach for this and missed it,
Yeah, but now it's a new person. It's not Todd.
but it is
It's
Todd.
technically it's Todd, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean anything. And it's just by name.
Yeah, but is Bubba a new person because he fell and hit his head and is kind of changed now?
That's different. He's like
No, it's not
dementia.
different. You can't change. You can't change the scenario. It's like the same
I'm
scenario.
saying, okay, this is okay. Dementia's a real thing.
Yeah, being a
This
serial killer is a real thing too.
right, but this is a hypothetical. It's not. I don't think it's possible to lose every single part of your being. I'm saying like if someone hypothetically resets to be a new person, but like they're in the same. I'm just using Todd as an example so you can relate. I didn't think it was going to be a thing. Do you get what I'm
No,
saying?
no, I feel like no, it's not because like I mean like a real life example. I was like not like a serial killer, but like when you think about like Mike Tyson's kind of the same way. Like Mike Tyson went from being like one of the most baddest men on earth, and now he's always been, but now he's like Mike Tyson's like one of the sweetest men I've ever seen when it comes to like
Yeah.
podcasts and interviews. Mike Tyson is like one of the sweetest guys I've ever fucking witnessed when it comes to like he's such a genuine guy, but he used to be one of the most feared men on earth, dude. Like face tattoos, fucking drive his car with a fucking tiger in it, have a tiger at his house, fucking he would tell people like he's gonna kill him and stuff before fights and this and that, bro. But now he's like it was all just like a he wanted to instill fear in them. Like he wasn't doing it to be like meaningful or anything. He just wanted to instill fear in them. He's just
That's somebody like that's somebody going through change and stuff, which is its own thing. But I'm saying what I'm getting at is like what makes somebody good or bad? Like, is it the way? Like, let's say Todd like if Todd redid life, like if he grew up as a serial killer and then like his memory or not his memory, his like he hit his head and everything got reset. Does that mean he would still turn out the same way, or like
I
could it
think
be different? Like I'm like what it's there's no I don't think there's a right answer. I'm just curious what you think.
I think he turns out different. I think it's all just of a it all I mean not turns out different. I
Answer
feel
like
like
all
it's
is it
all
all
different.
experiences?
I feel like yeah, I feel like it's all experiences growing up because I feel like a lot of people who are serial killers growing up either have like really bad parenting, really bad households, have really bad get really into a bad crowd. Like a lot of like even what's his name, the son of Sam. Do you know who the son of Sam is?
Yeah.
like the son of Sam, like he
Pretty
even
sure he was fucking straight up schizophrenic.
well, that's what a lot of people say. But even after they came out that like he killed like eight, nine people, or whatever the fuck it was, seven people, or whatever, they thought that maybe he might have killed one or two of them, but he didn't kill the rest of them, and then he just kind of got it pinned for him. But he's also like what I've heard from other podcasts and stuff is like he's like an actual like really genuine guy. Like he takes blame for it and everything, and that people are like they asked him like what it was and stuff, and it was just like it was the devil doing his work, and I followed his word. Like it wasn't like
Yeah,
anybody else to blame. It was just
that's schizophrenia.
what do you mean that's schizophrenia?
Dude, talking to the hearing voices and thinking the devil is telling you to do something. Like, yes,
But I feel like
he
a lot of people.
genuinely thought he was doing the right thing, which is where it's
I
like
feel
in
like,
his mind, he wasn't a bad guy.
but like I feel like not like necessarily that, but I feel like even a lot of people like a lot of people who do murders and go to jail. A lot of people are very like they find God when they go to prison. Like they realize like they get in their thoughts. They get in their thoughts a lot.
Yeah,
Like man, did I fuck? It's more or less like being brainwashed. Like you're like essentially that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like it's being brain. Like he was part of a cult. When you're getting brainwashed and you're part of a cult and they're telling you like do this and do that and fucking whatever, and then you're getting pinned for fucking 11, 9, 8 murders, whatever it is, when you only did maybe one, and it's because somebody told you to, and like if you didn't, you're going to hell. It's like fuck, dude, And then after you go to prison,
look into this. I did not know any of this.
it's like, was I really going to hell? You know what I mean? Like, was I
Yeah.
really going to hell, or was I just kind of fucking?
So where do you draw the line of when is it okay to kill somebody because someone told you to, and when is it like at what? Because like if someone told you to kill somebody, you wouldn't do it. So how do you
Right.
draw that line of where it's when like why does he get a pass?
I don't feel like he gets a pass. I just feel like gets their own. Everybody gets a not like a pass necessarily, but like a everybody deserves like a second chance. Everybody deserves to be
I
like
agree with that.
yeah, I mean I've seen a lot of even court cases, like a lot of court cases and stuff. I've seen a lot of people who like kill people or whatever, and the people even when they're like in the court cases, I don't know if it's real or not, but a lot of people are like, I'm so sorry for what I did to your like son, husband, whatever, and they're crying. They're like, I didn't mean to. Like, it was an all accident. Like, we were supposed to just rob the place. We didn't know he was gonna be home. We didn't know this and that, whatever. And one thing just led to another because we were freaked out. And it's like the fight or flight instinct, and you decide to fight. You know what I mean?
You
And
have the same thing. I feel the same way as you, where like I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt because
yeah,
there's been so many times where like somebody hasn't believed me, and I'm like, dude, I totally get it. I wouldn't believe me either. But like in this case, like that's what happened. The problem is like you you can do that, and that's how I am. But you also it's hard to um everybody deserves a second chance, but it's everybody also deserves to not give somebody a second chance.
yeah.
Do you know what
That that's.
I mean? And
I
that's
mean,
what's
I
hard.
feel like everybody I feel like the only people who deserve not to give a second chance, me specifically speaking, is like I don't know everybody else think, but I feel like the only people not like that get to decide whether somebody gets a second chance or not is the victims of somebody. I feel like me as a bystander, I don't get to choose whether or not somebody gets a second chance. Like I don't feel like, like go like that's why I would hate to do jury duty because it's like, well this guy did this and that and everything, but it's like, well he was crying and fucking like actual tears were coming out of his face and everything and yeah, he might be guilty, but like, he seems like not like a genuine guy, but he seems like he knows what he did was fucking wrong, and it's like, yeah, maybe give him like a year of prison and probation, but like, I don't think like maybe necessarily like 15 years for a fucking robbery or whatever the fuck is, you
That's
know?
what blows my mind. Have you seen those like court TV videos or whatever, where like somebody will like talk back to the judge, and the judge is like, okay, that's 12 days in jail or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, dude, to me, I'm like, bro, 1 day in jail is fucking insane.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
12 days for that. Like I would, I don't know, like I totally get what you're saying. And I think what you're talking about, because I realized this recently, is the difference between retribution and rehabilitation.
yeah,
Like in one case, you're trying to hurt someone for what they did to somebody else, and in the other case you're trying to just get somebody, like it's not about punishment.
Yeah, and it all depends too, because it's like there's a lot of people too who are like I said, like robbing a store, doing whatever that they could get a lot of jail time for, and it's like, well, I was like really drugged out for it, and it's like instead of setting them away for fucking 4 years or whatever, like let them like help them get the help that they need. So make them like make it like a mandatory rehab, like they have to go to rehab for like instead of like 3 years of prison, make it like 3 years of fucking rehab. Like you have to go to rehab, you have to keep checking in with somebody, you have to keep doing this and that, and make sure you're not fucking up. And then if you fuck up again, that's when you go to jail. That's when you fuck like the
I'm
same with
not
like probation.
okay. I'm not the one saying this. I'm just going to be the devil's advocate here.
Fuck
The
you.
reason they do that, I believe, is because if you let somebody use the excuse of I was high or I was fucked up or whatever, and that's why it happened. If you're even a little bit lenient on somebody for that, it encourages other people to get away with it,
Yeah,
and that's
well,
why, because it's the same thing as like you can't, if you drive drunk and kill someone, you can't say, "Oh, fuck, dude, I was drunk. I didn't know."
that's
Like,
different. But I mean, like if you're like
wait,
binged
how's that
out,
different? How's that different?
I feel like in my head, like a lot of people don't go like on like I could get drunk one night and do something like that, yeah, but I feel like a lot of people who do like meth and cocaine stuff like that, like you're doing binges. Like I know I've known of a lot of people, a lot of my friends and stuff like that who've personally done like five
I
days
agree
worth
with you.
like five
No,
days worth of fucking cocaine.
yeah,
I've never known of anybody like that that's done 5 days of drinking without sleeping.
no,
And
I
like
agree with you there, but that's still in that specific comparison, you're right. But the overall comparison is you're the one putting yourself in that
yeah.
situation. That's where you like, because I get it, like I see what you're saying, like because when you're in that state you genuinely probably, like, even because think about it in an extreme, let's say you took a fuck ton of acid, right?
Yeah.
Like so much acid to where like you didn't even know what was real life anymore,
Well, that's the
and
same
you like,
with. That's what I'm saying. It's the same with meth and cocaine. I've known people
oh
who've done like 4 day benders of cocaine, like with like getting like 1 2 hours of sleep within those 4 days. And I'm
yeah,
sure
you're
now they've told.
you don't know what's real, what's not real,
Yeah, that's what I'm
like,
saying. It's like almost like paranoia. Like basically, like
yeah, so it's
people
not
will
like
look
you're
out their windows and be like, "I swear I saw like a human shadow by that tree," when they didn't, dude. Like you didn't see a
yeah,
human shadow by
let's
that
say
tree.
let's say they shoot at that human shadow or whatever,
Yeah,
like
and
you're
then
not
hit
a
like a
murderer.
fucking mother of five or something like
Well,
that.
that's
It's
what I'm
like,
saying. You're not. It's about intent. Like you weren't trying to kill somebody.
yeah.
You were defending yourself, but you put yourself in that situation to begin with. And I agree there should be sympathy and stuff, but that's such a
But that's what I'm saying. That's where the difference comes between like drunk driving and like other drugs. Because like drunk driving, it's like, oh, I got into a drunk crash and killed like 3 people. It's like you had the opportunity to call like an Uber. Most of the people that do meth and cocaine spend their last dollar on meth and cocaine. A lot of
you had
people,
to not do meth and cocaine.
a lot of dude, you shouldn't do meth and cocaine. You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
We can agree to disagree on this, but I would consider, I think killing somebody when you're high on meth is the same as killing somebody when you're high on alcohol.
I
I think you're too caught up in the
I don't know. I don't know because I also feel like when it comes to like, it all depends though. 'Cause there's a lot of things I've seen like recently. One thing I watched recently was like, do you know who Billy Strings is?
yeah.
Um, he did a podcast with Theo Von recently, and Billy Strings, he's a world renowned fucking guitarist, bluegrass player, fucking whatever, dude. He he said like even himself, he was addicted to fucking like meth and crack for a long time. Like he was addicted to meth and crack and all this stuff, like smoking out of light bulbs. Like he learned from 12 years old, from like 12, 13 years old. He was smoking that shit for like years. And like he was like, it's the worst like thing ever, but he's like, it also gives you like the best feeling ever. And that's the thing about being like addicted to something. It's like that's why I can't bash like meth or whatever. It's like I can't bash like that's why I'm like I'm not bashing alcohol. But I'm just saying it's like two different things because like alcohol is like it's completely different like synopsis of your fucking brain than it is anything else. Like alcohol, like I know when I'm getting drunk. Like I know when I would know when I'm getting high off meth too. But at the same time, it's like I could take a couple drinks of alcohol and be fine and be like, all right, I need to call an Uber to come pick me up. You could take one hit of meth and be fucking up for the next 4 fucking days because it's fucking meth.
True, but
It could twack you the fuck out. You
I
know,
think you're getting too caught up in the
I am now. I'm caught up. Now I'm like deep into it.
you're
Now I'm
too
just
caught up
like,
in the
damn, dude.
details. I'm looking at it like this. Like in the most simple way I see it is if you do meth and if you're high on meth, kill somebody, not good. High on out, also
Yeah,
your fault.
yeah,
High on alcohol, kill somebody, equally your fault.
yeah. I guess I get that too. I'm just like, I don't know, dude. There's
At
something
least
about
that's
like,
how the law sees it. That's how the
yeah.
law. I'm not saying that's morally yes or no, but
That's why
that's
it's like
legal.
that's where it
Uh,
becomes like I don't know. It's like one of those things where like because alcohol is legal, so like a lot of times when it comes to, like alcohol being legal, like when it comes to those things, like you said, think about details. Like not like I'm thinking about the details. It's like a lot of people when it comes to like have nobody to blame but the government. Like the alcohol is legal. You can go to a bar and anywhere. Like a lot of people are addicted to like meth and cocaine and crack and all this shit. Like it's illegal to get and they're addicted to it. So like they're going out of their way. Like they're what?
Do you think it should all be legal?
I feel like not that it should all be legal, but I think most of it should be. I feel like only, uh, um, like acid, psilocybin, and weed should be legal. I feel like those are the only things that should be legal in my opinion. I feel like alcohol specifically, don't drink, kids, as though I love drinking. But I feel like drinking, I feel like nicotine, I feel like a lot of things should not be legal. I feel like it's all very bad.
Like that's the thing is if you think about it, even if let's say actually I'm not gonna say it as a statement. I'm gonna ask you as a question first.
Yeah.
If meth and like crack and shit was equally as legal and accessible as alcohol, like you could just go to the store and get
Yeah.
different kinds.
Just go get
Do
like
you
a carton of crack.
do you think more people would do that stuff?
No, I feel like it all comes down to even just being like a kid. I feel like that's how the government is nowadays. I mean, even like a lot of nowadays is just like you don't tell us what to do, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it's always been. I feel like
That's the
that's how
thing.
it always will be. That's how I always was.
You know how people say like because like every time there's obviously a lot of shootings in the country, and you know how every time there's a shooting, people are like, "We need gun control." Go ahead, chase that.
Anyway, keep going.
Okay, you know how every time there's a shooting, people are like, "We need better gun control laws and shit."
Yeah.
And like one of the arguments is we don't need gun control because criminals are going to get guns one way or another. So we might as well make it easier for like good guys to get guns. You know what I mean?
I don't
But
necessarily
I
feel
feel like
like
I don't
it's.
think that's legit because like me as someone who's like kind of a bitch, like if something's not legal, I'm not fucking doing it. You know? Like
See, that's
just
the.
like
I think it all
what?
depends on the person. I don't know how that goes because like I've I've bought my fair share of illegal firearms. I've
Like
owned probably
allegedly.
yeah, allegedly I bought my fair share of illegal firearms. I don't own any of them now, but back in the day, I probably owned like 4 or 5 of them, and I don't know like with me growing up around Rockford, and for a while there I was doing a lot of dumb shit like allegedly selling weed and doing all this and that. After a certain point, when you're selling a certain amount of weed and selling it to certain people and all these people, it's like I only bought a firearm for like protection. Like it wasn't like I was buying a firearm to go out of my way to be like. I mean, there was times here and there when I was like, dude, I'm cool as fuck. I got a fucking pistol. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
try me, pussy. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like, it was all kind of also just like a front at the same time. Like, it was like, try me, pussy. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't do that, dude. Like, I feel like if I
You know
did
what
do
you
it,
would
it would
do?
be in a fight or flight moment. I would not, no, ding, I would not go, no, 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 no. I would not, I know you were going with that. I knew you were going with that. I knew you were going with that. No, it's like, I don't know, I feel like a fight or flight instinct. And back then, also as a younger kid, I feel like that's why like a lot of like younger people do a lot of like the killings and shootings and all this stuff that's going on is because a, it's less repercussion. B, also like you have less care in the world. You know, back then it wasn't like necessarily like
Well, and
whatever.
that's where I feel like that's where I agree with the being lenient and shit because you have less care in the world. But I bet if you could go back now, you would be like, "That's fucking dumb and was not worth the risk and shit."
Well,
You know?
that's exactly what I would say now, but at the same time, back then, like it's one of those things where like when I think about it now, and I've even told multiple people this, it wasn't necessarily like I've always been a good kid, dude. It was a lot of shit that was fucking me up. It was my mom and dad going through divorce. It was one of my siblings being addicted to heroin, having to go to places. And I was the youngest of five, and for like 2, 3 years there, I was the only sibling in the house because everybody was gone with friends, living
Yeah,
with other people and
yeah. You
stuff.
had a weird situation.
Yeah, and so it's like it's not necessarily that I was trying to be like a bad kid, but I don't know if it was I was
You were just doing
wanting
what you
it.
thought you had to do.
What?
You were just doing what you thought you had to do.
Not, I don't necessarily know if it was I was doing what I thought I had to do, but I don't know if it was I was doing what I was trying to do to get attention because I felt like less, there was a lot of stuff going on between my two parents and
Okay.
what?
What kind of attention?
Just any attention. I feel like between the divorce going on, like they were more focused on that. They were more focused on like,
Do you remember ever having specific thoughts of like, I wish somebody would ask me about this, or I wish, like, were there specific things you were looking for attention for? I'm
I,
genuinely just curious.
I don't know if there was anything I was specifically looking for attention for besides more or less just like I think nowadays too, I even find really big satisfaction in it, and I think I would have found it back then too. It's just like people being like, "I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad you're doing that." You know what I mean, type of thing. As a kid, because back then it was like I said, I'm the youngest of five, so, and then one of my siblings addicted to heroin, one of my other siblings in and out of jail. It's like all this stuff was going on, and it's like I wasn't not that I wasn't the main focus, but it wasn't like it was more or less just like give me what I want, which was cool, whatever. Like give him a Xbox, give him a PlayStation, but it's like give him what he wants, and then he's like content. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna fucking like that's it. Like give him an Xbox, let him play GTA, whatever
Like,
the
you
fuck
feel
he's gonna
like
do.
it's more of a, you don't matter in the sense where like it matters that you're fulfilled. It's just like as long as we just need something to keep Tanner occupied.
Yeah, just keep him occupied. Not in
Yeah.
the sense that I'm fulfilled or like, hey, he's doing good. Let's like let him know he's doing
Or, like,
good or whatever.
genuine.
But just like keep him
Yeah.
occupied. And then it's like the minute that I would slip up or whatever from school or do whatever, that's when, uh,
That's when you got the attention.
yeah, because that's when people would start getting pissed, and that's when I would start getting pissed because that's the only time I get attention. It's like, oh, you're failing this class and this class, whatever. Like, do you want to be a fucking loser? And it's like, that's what you care about, dude. Is like, like all these years I was doing good. I was playing basketball. I was doing whatever, trying my best. Nobody said anything, but the minute I start like failing class, it's like, what are you fucking faggot? You know what I mean? like,
You know what sucks is that it sucks that you say nobody, like you were playing basketball and nobody said anything,
yeah,
because like when I've talked to your dad and shit about it, like we were talking about, like I was jokingly like, yeah, we should play 2-on-2, like me and Bub against you and your dad, and like your dad was like so proud about how good you were at basketball and shit. I was like,
yeah.
oh dude, you would get cooked. I do not want to.
Yeah,
I've played basketball like 10 times in my life.
yeah. That's
Like,
the thing is like it's like nowadays like it's nice to hear and stuff, but it would have been nicer to hear back then. But like
I
nowadays,
know.
like me and my dad and my brother talk about it and stuff, and it's like, and I can't blame my dad and I can't blame my mom because they were going through a lot of shit at the time too. So I can't necessarily like,
Intention. They weren't purposely trying to be
yeah,
like, oh, inner.
exactly. But they have so much going on between a
Yeah.
divorce, a kid doing heroin, another kid in and out of jail, or
Well,
whatever.
isn't it
It's
how when you get old, especially now that you're a dad, like how you can see some shit and be like, oh, now I get that like adults don't have it figured out. Like I always
yeah,
thought people just fucking cruised.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Wag.
It's like it's one of those things where it's just weird. It's like as I got older, and I don't know. Like my dad's gotten a lot more. You haven't known him for like when I was younger, but my dad was very. He's from the military and stuff, and he's very like he's always been like pretty hard headed and not like hard headed, but he's always been very like he wants to have not like have this a certain way or have that a certain way, but he's just military. That's how he was grown up from like 18 till 22, 24 years old was like people would come into his room and make sure like your bed's not made a certain way. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got to redo it. Everybody's doing this and that, and that's kind of how like My dad had us for the longest because he didn't want us to end up like him, is what he says, which I understand because I don't know if you heard my dad's stories, but he was a fucking shit when he was younger. He was a little fuckhead.
For as many as I want to. I'll
Um,
definitely start.
uh, and so he was a little shit when he was younger. He used to do a lot of bad shit and stuff, and so that was the essential of like I don't want you guys to come up the same way as I did or be like the same kind of people as I did. But then when you're pushing people to like, like that's not good enough. This isn't good enough, and he's even like we've all said like he's chilled out over time. He's a really good guy now, and all he cares about is people just necessarily being like happy and having a good time and everything. But like for the longest there, I think it was the stress between uh, he's younger. He was a younger dad when his first kid was born. Like, yeah, I think I'm the youngest of five. You know what I mean? Not necessarily like they're all my dads, but three of them are my dads, and it's like, like that's a big thing to take on. And they didn't have the benefits that they do now back then, like Link and all this stuff, and health
Yeah,
benefits from the government and stuff. So it's like working his life away, just being as good as a dad as he could be, and then we're all being shitheads. I mean, not necessarily me. I was like I said, I was a good kid for the most part. Like I just played Xbox and chilled out or whatever. But like all this shit going on around him or whatnot. But it's like, yeah, I used to be good at sports, and like he says nowadays, like between like all of us, me, you, and Garrett, like you were the best athlete there was, and it's like, fuck, dude, that would have been nice to hear when I was like fucking 13, 14.
dude,
You know what I mean?
thing with because like Dan and my mom. Well, I guess my mom every once in a while, but Dan would never come to my baseball games, and Bub would
Yeah,
always. Bub was the only one, but he wasn't there. He was in New York. He was
yeah,
always the one who was like, "Yo, you need to like." And even I played like Scrabble shit, and
yeah.
like because I was too afraid to play for my high school because I like
Didn't
was
want to get
bullied.
embarrassed or whatever. Yeah, dude, I felt that.
I, can you like? I don't know if this is a common thing, but like my coach literally like went to my mom and was like, he needs to play for his high school where people can see him. And I was like, but I still was too much of a bitch.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's not necessarily like the embarrassment or whatever. It's just like it is the embarrassment, but it's not the embarrassment like you would think. It's just like I can fuck up in front of people I don't know, because in the back of my mind I can be like, these people aren't gonna see me again. You know what I mean? It's like but if I fuck up in front of people at my high school, I have to go to them the next day at school. I have to go. It's Tuesday. Do I have to go see them on Wednesday, Thursday, and fucking Friday, bro?
the opposite, where like I feel the need to like, I want everybody to like me, or I used to. Like,
Yeah,
I opposite where like that's what stressed me out.
yeah. I don't. What stressed me out was just like I quit playing high school sports after a while, and I played like baseball. I played Roy Gale, which was like a not a travel. It was just like a out of school league. You know what I mean? Basically, that's
Yeah,
what like everybody did around the area. It was just this Roy Gale area. And then when I played basketball, I played travel with Wildcats and stuff. And it's not necessarily like I was like whatever. Like I knew I was really good. I knew I was really good. That's why I always help hype myself up when it came to stuff. Was like I knew I was really good. Like I
yeah.
knew I was a lot better than most kids my age. But then there's just also the fact of, you know, like I said, like, and it's not even my dad's fault. And me and him talk about it nowadays, and that's the reason I like being like a mailman right now compared to like when he was a mailman later in his ages. Because when it comes to like basketball games and stuff, he didn't get to make a lot of them, and it's not his fault. It's because as a CCA, you have to work all the fucking time. You
Is
don't
that what
get
you are? You're a CCA?
Yeah, and so I'm a CCA from a maximum of 2 years. My dad did it for like 6.5 years.
Damn.
Yeah, they didn't have a limit on it back then. So my dad was a CCA for like 6.5 years. So like for all these years, like my dad didn't get to come to sports and do whatever because he was always working all the fucking time, and it wasn't his choice not to. It was the fact that that's what kept him his job. And between the post office and Chrysler where he worked before, those are the only two jobs he's ever worked in his life. Like I've worked a lot of jobs in my life. Those are the only two jobs he's ever worked in his life. Like that's how
Yeah.
he was raised that way, where it's just like once you get a job, like keep it. Like that's what you want, you want to do or whatever. And that's how he was. And so he, for 6 years
Nothing
from
used to be though, but now you have to like if you want to make more money, you have to like move jobs.
yeah, well, not only move jobs, but you have to move like higher up in jobs. You have to be
Yeah.
able to like you have to find something that goes in part with like either what you know already or what you're already doing. Like with you with the computer stuff, like Yeah, but you find a bigger company that's going to pay you more. Like, yeah, you're going to take the job, but it's because it's something that you already know. But me as a mailman and with stuff I already know, like, somebody wouldn't come to me and be like, we have a job that's going to pay you, like, 100 an hour to do computer stuff. It's like, yeah, I know computers, but, like, I don't know what the fuck you guys want me to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? You could
just make
easily
sure I
find.
do $100.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, that's what.
Yeah,
No, that's what I'm just saying. Like anybody that like is you just want to find someone that's gonna do better or whatever, but within the same like skill set that you have essentially. You know,
yeah.
what was I have what was Catherine's sister wanting to get on for?
Oh, she wanted, no, she just, earlier we were all hyped because we were in Boulder and shit, and we took some edibles and shit, and she was like, can I, like, be a guest? And her mom's gonna come on and shit, but those gummies hit pretty hard now. They're like, fucking, I think they're all knocked out on the couch.
Yell out to her sister. Just be like, hey,
I already did. Well, last time I went out there, she was like, I'm too tired.
this fucking Colorado edibles,
It's
dude.
just like a machine gun.
Dude, for real. I fucking hate you, dude. God damn it. God damn it. Yeah, no, dude, it was
You need to get Helldivers too.
once I get a PC, I will. Once I get a PC,
Yeah,
I plan on getting stuff like that.
I've been playing, dude. It's reconnected me with so many of my old buddies I used to play games with. It's like so fun that they've had to like they built their servers for 50,000 person
Yeah,
capacity.
no, they built it for like 450,000 or
Yeah,
something. Cause some,
crazy. I sent Vin a picture because I got him to get it, but like my whole friends list was all trying to get in.
yeah, it was fucking up, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I got in earlier.
You did earlier.
Yeah, I was playing earlier and then I got out for this. Whatever.
I've been actually been watching one of my friends. When you fucking called me, I was on a Discord with one of my friends. Discord that has like a bunch of people in there. Shout out Zach, cool guy. That's the one I want to get on the podcast. Zach, the one that like sings country and plays games and stuff. He has his own Discord.
Is
Dude,
that cool guy?
there was like 7 of us in there. One of them was playing Helldivers, dude, and I was just watching them. Dude. I was like, the graphics on that thing look fucking
Dude,
amazing, bro.
call in like certain airstrikes and shit. The
Yeah,
noises, it's so like I
and
had
the
a gas.
explosions, dude. The explosions are fucking
Yeah,
insane on that, dude.
even the like regular bullets. I had a Gatling turret, and like I joined my friend's game, and I didn't realize he was on like a high difficulty. So there was this like giant bug I'd never seen before, and my turret was like shooting at it, and it was so cool. The bullets were actually like hitting its armor and like shooting off into like the air. What the
Yeah, dude. That's what
dude?
he was
Next time
saying.
you gotta watch me play. I want to play. I want to play games while you are in Discord.
You can always invite me to. I'll watch. I don't care. I
I didn't
just,
know. I forget you. I forget you're like also around.
dude. That's what I do after work most of the times. I get off work and I sit here at my computer, join my buddy Zach's Discord, dude, and I just watch like 3 or 4 people just play games. They all just share their screen and just pull up all their streams at the same time on Discord and
I'll
just
tell you what.
watch them play games.
Let's make a I'm gonna create. Let's make a Discord for our podcast.
Do it. Create one. Create one for our podcast.
Invite your friends and shit.
If people want to join, they can. We can also talk to people who want to be guests in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Are you creating it right now?
I just invited you.
Oh, you just invited me already?
Yeah, I feel like I just created it. I haven't added it. I don't know how to like
Yeah.
set. Maybe you should create it. I'm not. I don't know anything about Discord.
I just found out today I could watch multiple people's streams at one time while in the Discord, dude. I know a lot about Discord, but I didn't know that. I didn't know like when I'm in a big party, I could watch like
Here,
multiple
I'll delete the
streams at
server.
one
You want to
time.
make it? You
Yeah,
want
I'll
to make
make.
a brotherly rival one?
Yeah, I'll make a brotherly random one, dude.
Delete. I don't know how do I delete the server?
I don't know, dude. You know what we should do at some point? I feel like we should get Todd on here as a guest.
Yes.
I feel like as much I want Michael Yoakum to come on here. If he doesn't come on here on the 25th, it's whatever. But I feel like we should get Todd on here as a guest for like one of the next upcoming episodes.
All right. Good deal.
You think so?
Yeah.
Or you hear that, Faja? You're coming on as the next guest of the Brotherly Ramble.
I'm gonna have to hop off because they gotta go to night night.
That's fine, brother. I'm gonna be going to bed
All right,
here
make
pretty
the
soon
Discord.
too.
I want to like hang after work and shit.
Dude, I'm always on about whenever I get off work. I can't give you a time.
We'll just make the Discord so we can hang.
I will make the Discord. I'll invite you to it.
All right, cool. All right.